Today I'm going to talk to you about the last test in our Humanities 115 class. This is for chapters 9 through 12, and your study guide should say chapters 9 through 12 across the top. Normal stuff for how I lay things out. 20 matching. There were 2 points apiece. You have the 20 there, so no surprises. Same thing with the big words. Remember, these are words, the definitions come from the book. You can go through the book or you can go to the glossary. All but the last 3 are there. The last 3, science, scientific method, and morality, you're going to have to get those from my lecture, or the notes has it up there too. So anyway, make sure that you're putting the definitions that come from the book, or you don't get points. Follow the directions. To that end, the application short answers, these are the directions you will have, and then you'll have something to go with it, of course. If you want to practice or see how those work out, go to the exercises that it says see exercise 9.3 for the first one. Go to exercise 9.3. Do a couple of the ones that have stars, because those answers are in the back of the book, and that way you can see how you're doing. If you have questions, of course, you can email me. That's not a big deal. This test, the big deal on this test is the essay. You're going to read the story, the ones who walk away from Omelas. Now I know the ethics guys are using this too for a different project in their classes, so you might end up doing it twice, but we're doing different things, so I don't think it's a big deal. And the more times you read something like this, the better you are at evaluating and explaining and that kind of stuff, of course. So you have the story itself up on Blackboard, and I would encourage you highly to print it out and mark it up, read it critically, read the whole thing. Don't just stop with the first page, because that's not going to get you a good answer. Make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. For Study Guide 4A, the practice, the stuff you get credit for, homework credit for 20 points, is a summary of the story and then an outline for your essay for the exam. Make sure that you're following the directions again. They do have moral principles. They do have a worldview. Just because you don't agree with it doesn't mean that it isn't there. And make sure that this is an essay. Okay, so you need an introduction. You need a conclusion. Okay, you need to make sure that this is all put together. I think this is 6 paragraphs minimum. This is a 40-point essay, so double what our essays usually are, because I expect you to do some extra work on this, and that's why we're also putting it in the practice. Study Guide 4B, 12 and 15 are a different set of directions than 17 and 19, so make sure that you're paying attention and getting those done. Anything else that you do for the test to practice or to whatever is extra credit. Make sure you turn that in as well, and we'll go from there. Now, this is the last test. It's not a final exam. I don't do a final exam for this class. We have a lot of information, and I like the last test to be just the last test. It is just over chapters 9 through 12, aside from the big words, of course, because those are cumulative, but that's the only part of the test that is cumulative. So make sure that you're up to date and that you do the study guide first and then take the test. It's helpful. I've had people complain, well, it's the exact same thing. Well, it's not exact. Now, the definitions matching and the short answer stuff, yes, those are exact. But the rest of it, you have to kind of figure things out and do things for yourself. And I want you to practice the hardest part, so that's why we do the practice questions for the study guide. The test itself is 230 points, and so I believe it's our smallest test point-wise. The first test was 270, the second one was 250. Our test 3 with the Venn diagrams and such were 315, and so this one is our smallest one, but I think it's pretty conclusive for that particular set of inductive arguments. Make sure that you're following directions. A big thing on this test is to answer the questions that you're asked, not the ones you necessarily think you want to answer. So read carefully. Make sure that you're answering the questions that are asked. If it asks you about the sample, remember that's not the content of the test, of the poll or whatever we're talking about targets and sample sizes and things like that. So make sure that you've gone back through chapter 9 for those. Let me know if you have any questions. This is an easy, short video. I just like to say things out loud so you have them. Remember, this is due the last day of classes, and so you need to make sure that you're ready and up and everything else is in. So anyway, enjoy as much as you can, and we're almost done. So have a nice day. Let me know if you need anything. You know how to get a hold of me.